finished with telephone conversation, face-to-face conversation, advantages and disadvantages of face-to-face conversation. All this I had completed. And we had started with methods of telecommunication, that is teleprinter, telex, all this we had started. If you remember, Melvin and Ved were there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this I will be starting from this point only. The rest is very easy, telephone conversation and all you all can read up yourself. Okay. Teleprinter, please pay attention how these are used. Today you'll be seeing some videos also for the same. Okay. I want all videos on and everyone please pay attention carefully. Teleprinter, please understand, is to the written word what telephone is to the spoken word. A teleprinter, it basically consists of two machines with a standard typewriter attached to it. Keyboards are placed at the two ends for transmission as well as for reception of messages. Once, what are we doing? We are typing a message on one of the machines that is automatically and simultaneously typed at the receiver's end, and the communication takes place instantly. Teleprinters are very easy to install. They do not cost much, and many departments in the olden times, especially when the typewriters were used, the teleprinter, can you look at the picture at your right? That's how the teleprinter looked. Okay, automatic transmission would save time and money. Teleprinter is also used where use of verbal messages with telephone would be a misunderstanding, where it was not easy to communicate through conversation. We used to type it out and automatically it used to be sent at the receiver's end. Teleprinter could be purchased for private installation. In the telegraph and post department, the teleprinter is called the telex. 3 participants have raised their hand. Yes, Costa, please tell me.
Ma'am, is this teleprinter somewhat like a fax machine?
Somewhat like, but not exactly a fax machine. Fax machine came much later into use. We will come to facsimile also, but first let's understand the concept of the teleprinter. If you have seen Razi, okay, you must have seen how Alia Bhatt used to send those messages through connection of cables. Okay, that is how the teleprinter actually worked. Each telex would subscribe a code number. You had to put a code number and it would link to the nearest telephone exchange. In order to send the message, the subscriber would press the button, okay, and connect to the exchange. When the exchange would confirm that the teleprinter at the receiving end has been connected to it, the message would be typed and automatically transmitted to the other end. They would not need to attend to the machine and sit there and wait for the message to come in. Under the automatic telex service, no clearance was required from the telephone exchange. The keyboard perforator and the automatic teleprinter code used to be used. Why was it the keyboard perforator? It was like those typewriter buttons. Okay. The message would be punched on a tape and automatically received at the other end. Yes, Ronak, you have a question? Okay. A teleprinter connected with the telex network, and it could be left switched on and unattended because you had already punched in the message. So even if you are not present in the receiver's end, it would be received automatically. Okay. So let's see now the video. It will be absolutely clear to you how the functioning of the teleprinter takes place. Still here, anything to ask? Costa, everyone clear? Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So let's start with the video. Please look at it.
London businessman's office. All has been put through to Edinburgh.
Could you increase the volume, please?
This is the maximum I can reach up to.
Okay.
Just look at the picture so you'll get an idea.
Switches to teleprinter. Edinburgh does likewise. I mean, all set for sending the message. Pressing the Who Are You key through to the right number. machine can transmit 60 words a minute. A telegram costs 1 shilling for 12 words. But Kenny Scott, his money's worth out of the teleprinter. Additional advantage over the telephone system, one receives written instead of verbal indications, conditions of complete secrecy. It prints the message at the receiving station. Anyone present can't. As the telegram, full of complicated figures, received in Edinburgh, nearly 400 miles away. All transmission in only a matter of seconds. I'd contrast with the time of the old mail coach, required a week, the same journey.
Did you get an idea how it looked like?
Yes, ma'am.
Look at also the telex, how it is the telewriter.
Инженер Лешко находится в Хабаровске. Она производит последние испытания бильд-аппарата, передающего изображение по радио. Курьерский поезд идет из Москвы в Хабаровск 9 суток. Аэроплан летит 3 дня. Бильд-аппарат передает изображение мгновенно. Жители Хабаровска теперь смогут прочесть правду в день ее выхода в Москве.
This is the functioning of the telewriter, which I'm going to explain in the next one. Okay, telewriter or teleautograph. This system is also very similar to that of the teleprinter, but it is used for more of handwritten messages. There was a metal plate that used to be attached to the machine. Anything written on it would be reproduced on the machine at the other end. Telewriter would obviously transmit messages over only very short distances. It would offer high-speed transmission, and we could carry on any written conversation through just putting in the messages through the metal plates that were attached. Later came the development of the telenote and the teletext. Telenote was used for transmission of hand-drawn or written material over the telephone circuits. Here the sender would draw. He could also write using a ball pen connected with some wires, and they would be attached to the transmitter. Simultaneously, outlines used to be attached on the paper by the receiver. And this time, before there were only cables that used to connect. Then came the telephone circuits through which the transmission took place simultaneously. You could also send illustrations, formulas, any information could be sent via the telenote. Teletext was the upgrade of telex, which you just saw. It was very flexible, much faster. It was an upgraded version of the telex, which we just saw in the last video. It used the telephone lines rather than the telegraph circuits. And generally, if you would see the cases on those printers, on the keyboard perforators used to be about 200 symbols with upper and lower cases both. Speed would be about 2000 bits. So as fast you would type, it would quickly connect, and through the A4 size sheets also, the message would be transmitted. I hope all these are being clear.
Ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
So, ma'am, on the telex, there were some numbers on the board, but then keyboard, but then when we write it on the paper, they look different, right?
Yes, it would come in the printed format. Like the way in a typewriter, I would type something. What kind of formatting the handwriting would come? That is the same way it would appear on your printed sheets. Clear, Costa? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This is some of the pictures, if you can see, of the teletext and this. Look at this video also. One more I have put in for you. This is the last one which we just did. Okay. Using the iTelex over the internet, how this is being used, you can have a look at it. It will be absolutely clear to you. Look at the keyboard perforators.
Hey, hello. Hello, my name is.
These are the advanced versions which later came out.
Oh, yes.
Ma'am, can we see them in some museums or something?
Museum. I don't know about keeping them in the museum, but they're still in use. See the video I talked to you.
You see? It's your time. Oh, okay.
Did you understand? Can you see how the copy is coming out of the handwriting and the print?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is how these worked. Okay, till now of course lots of modern methods have come in fact now the usage also of these have gone down because of the usage of online platforms and internet and video conferencing and all, but this was actually very much applicable maybe few years down the line, maybe about another 20-30 years back, say in the 1970s 80s. This was the most important methods of communication at that time. Okay, then comes fax machine or facsimile. Kaustav, you were just asking me about the facsimile. Facsimile telegraphy or fax machine or telefax as it is called was generally used for transmitting sketches, pictures, photographs, drawings, cartoons. The chart or diagram used to be sketched or drawn on the paper. Then it used to be wrapped around a cylinder in the machine. The sender then would make the contact with the receiver. How many of you have seen a fax machine? Anyone? You have seen? Melvin, have you seen the working of the fax machine?
I have seen it in movies.
Movies. Okay. So a button would be then pressed at the sending point. It would start that metal plate or drum on both the sending and receiving ends. And that is how when the light would fall on it, it would be transmitted to the receiving end. The signals would be converted into the light with the help of the photographic paper, and that would give you the facsimile copy. Once it will be switched on, the machine would then transmit the facsimile to the machine. The matter would automatically be reproduced on the other hand who would have the fax machine. Here the good part is fax machine is very easy to operate. You don't need any skilled operators. Any type of drawing, handwritten, etc. material can be printed and transmitted. Transmission can be made over any distances. Say if I have a fax machine sitting here and you have a fax machine at your home, I can transmit the message easily. Copies received at the other end can be used immediately. Even a part of the page or a portion of it can be transmitted. The fax machine has made it possible today to send copies of important documents like certificates, degrees, etc. very easily by only sitting at your home. Okay, let's look at the working of the fax machine. Melvin, please put on your video. Ved, can I see each one of you, please? Yes. Okay, great. I'm starting with the next one. Please have a look. Kaustav, pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Please look at the fax machine.
Fax. Fax is also known as facsimile. It is the transmission of a document or picture from one place to another place via telephone line. The facsimile or fax machine was first invented in 1842 by a Scottish electrical engineer named Alexander Bain. In a fax machine, there is a sensor which scans each line of the document, which is illuminated by a fluorescent lamp. Shown here is a scanned line. Each scanned line is divided into a number of equal short segments or elements called pixels. This group of parallel lines are transmitted through the phone line. At the receiving end, there is a mechanism to mark the paper with black dots. Each pixel is converted into an electrical current which is sent to the receiver. The receiving fax puts the picture elements together as it receives them until a copy of the original is made. In other systems, which are most commonly used in fax machines, a document is wrapped around the surface of a drum, which is then revolved, causing the paper to pass the spot of light. This type of scanning is called cylindrical scanning.
Got it? Did you understand? Easy now? Have you
Yes,
got an
ma'am.
idea of
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
them? Fax machine, telewriter, teleprinter?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. So working of the fax, let's understand the message can be obviously transmitted into the fax machine. The sender will dial the fax number which you just saw. Message would be, the machine then would send the message at the receiver's end. Receiver would pick up the message. Easy mode, fast, economical. Fax is available throughout the world and secrecy can be maintained. Say I am personally sending the message from my end to Kaustav's end, so that secrecy can be maintained between both of us. Clear? Anything to ask here? You have any questions till now, or should I go to the next method?
Now we can go to the next one.
Okay, great. Then comes email. This is something I think all of you can relate to, because nowadays we all are sending emails to each other almost every second or third day. Under it, two computer terminals get connected. You know how basically email works. Message would be typed on the computer screen and it would be sent through electronic impulses. The person operating the computer terminal at the receiving end would be alerted by a signal that a message is meant for him in the electronic mailbox. The person can occasionally see his mailbox, or once generally you get an alert that an incoming mail has come, it would flash on your computer screen and you can just go ahead and check it. Email can be used 24 hours, anytime, anywhere in the day. It is the fastest means of transmitting message. Today I want to send a message to you. Email is one of the fastest ways in which I can send it. If both the persons are simultaneously sitting, clarification can also be sought. Message can be sent through email anywhere in the world. It can be kept confidential. Use of codes can be used so that nobody else can decipher it. Emails can be easily stored for future references as well. Email today has become the lifeblood of internet. In fact, internet cannot survive without email, because one of the most important parts of internet surfing is sending emails. There are several reasons for use of email. Can you give me some reasons why we need email today? Why is it so essential?
Ma'am, because ma'am, to send documents all over the world very quickly.
Okay.
Ma'am, also for ma'am formal writing, because you can't write formally on WhatsApp and other messaging sites.
Excellent, excellent. It's a very formal method of communication. You can reach out to a wide audience at the same time. Today I want to mail 1,000 people or 500 people. Sitting at home, I can reach them very quickly. Okay. Another thing is even your whole, the way you communicate through a mail, it's a very formal, it's a forceful method. So people would also take it more seriously. Messages, obviously the disadvantages, because secondly, you cannot see the body movements of the person when you're typing an email. The message is not always secure because you have hackers who can hack it. Any office colleague can read your mailbox, especially if you are in office. So certain demerits are there, but of course the merits are far more than the demerits of email. Okay, can you see some surprise item on the screen there? Whose pictures are those?
Ma'am, those are pictures.
Who's this? Rona, can you see yourself? Kaustav? Melvin? Okay. Even I am there along with Neha and Ved. Right. So this is what we are doing today. Video conferencing. Okay. So with advancement in technology, it has become possible to link several telephones today. People can hold a conference over the telephone even without meeting each other. Are we taking a physical class? No, but still we are meeting each other. Still we are having a class every day. It is only because of these video facilities that people cannot only confer it, but even see each other on television screens. Video conferencing is a system under which people sitting at different places, this is something you are personally experiencing, right? We can discuss certain issues of common interest to each other. We can both hear, we can see each other. Video conferencing offers considerable saving in terms of money as well as time. How much time is spent once bell rings, you go to a class, then you go to another class, and then the time management and all those time spending of shifting from one class to the other. But here there is no problem. Sitting at your home, I'm sending an invite to you. You're clicking on the code and accepting it and receiving. So video conferencing or teleconferencing is a meeting of people sitting at far off distances from one another. They can hear each other, they can see each other, they can share information, they can discuss issues. Voice and images can be transmitted through microphones, cameras attached to the computers, people participating in conferences. So it is much more seeking and talking to each other. It is a virtual meeting where we meet friends, where we meet people, where we look at our teachers, where we look at our friends, right? Easy or difficult? Can you all relate to this? Can I get some response? I'm waiting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
Easy video conferencing. Is this chapter
Yes,
easy? You all are understanding? There's no difficulty with it?
sort of.
No, ma'am.
No doubts.
Okay. So now comes to the comparative analysis of the ones which we have done. A letter, a memo, telephone, fax, email, and video conferencing. Letter, of course, the main benefit is that it's a document which you can record in the future. Memo is also a record and it's economical. Telephone is very quick, fast mode. Fax also economical. Email, quick, economical, and record. And video conference, of course, discussions possible, debates possible, and economical. People participating in a video conference can connect with the ISP. They can start the conference software. Every server has a directory. Video conferencing leads to lots of savings of money and executives' time. Okay, next let's go to another important method which we are going to talk about of telecommunication is internet. This you will give me more knowledge before I give you. Come on. You are all of internet age. You can all tell me what internet is. Come on. I want to know your version of internet. Each one. Let's start. Melvin.
Ma'am, with internet we can connect to each other very fast, ma'am. It speeds up the mode of communication, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of businesses can I do with internet, Costa?
Sorry, ma'am, could you repeat, please?
I'm saying what kind of businesses can you do with the help of internet today?
Ma'am, we can do online shopping.
Okay.
Then we can.
So what is
we can
online
set up-
shopping? Can I say it's a B2C type of business? Business to consumer?
Yes.
Okay. You have also B2B business done through internet. What is B2B business? Anyone
I
know?
think advertisements.
No, that's not B2B business. Anyone else? Wait, what is B2B business?
Ma'am, business to business.
Yes, but what happens? Give an example. That is seen on the screen. It is business to business.
Ma'am, I think wholesaler to retailer.
No. Okay. Yes, kind of you can say that. But let's say, for example,
Manufacturer to retailer.
Okay. I am dealing with a car business. Okay. I'm manufacturing cars. Now, I need the tires to be attached to the cars. Okay. Say I'm buying the MRF tires. So now, this particular business, say if I am dealing with Jaguar cars and I am wanting MRF tires, so my Jaguar car business will tie up with the MRF tires to fix the tires in the car.
Ma'am, commercial transactions takes place between B2B business.
Correct. That is business to business. What is C2C? That also happens through internet.
Customer to customer.
Okay.
Customer to customer.
An example of C2C? Anyone knows?
Ma'am, I think buying of some product and selling the same product to
Yes, ma'am.
someone else.
So what do we do? Nowadays, all of us are using it. Which is the most common of it? OLX.
OLX, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is consumer to consumer. Okay? So like that, we can have many kind of business through the internet. We can have e-retailing, e-advertising, e-marketing. Nowadays, article marketing is also taking place through internet. You know what is article marketing? Anyone having an idea?
Ma'am, they're like magazines through, like they make websites
Yes,
and you can
yes.
do
What we do is we publish the articles and the business will now circulate these articles to the different consumers. That is
Consumers.
marketing. So internet has become today a global network, okay, of computers connected through telephone with high speed link. It provides facility for communication, for sharing
What is
information.
a WAN network, right?
Yes. Internet offers a lot of benefits. Fast mode, round the clock working, no distance barrier, 24-hour service. We can online shop, we can do anything any time of the day. We are not restricted to traditional business that opens at 9 in the morning and closes at 8 in the evening. Marketing of products and services is possible. Internet can be used as a cyberspace and information also can be transmitted easily. Let's look at the video, please.
Ma'am?
Yeah. Tell me.
Ma'am, what will be online, like delivery of, for example, Swiggy, Zomato? What will be that?
They will come under retailing, internet retailing.
So B2C?
Yes, B2C. They would come under business to consumer.
What is the internet?
The internet is like a popular thing.
Some satellites up there. I picture in my head with like waves of internet going to the phone. Somebody told me a cloud once.
The internet is a lot like plumbing. It's always moving.
Most people don't have any idea where the internet came from, and it just doesn't matter. They don't need to. It's sort of like asking who invented the ballpoint pen or the flush toilet or, you know, the zipper. These are all things we just use every day, and we don't even think about the fact that one day somebody invented them. So the internet is just like that. Many, many years ago, in the early 1970s, my partner Bob Kahn and I began working on the design of what we now call the internet. It was a result of another experiment called the ARPANET, which stood for Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. It was a Defense Department research project. Paul Barron was trying to figure out how to build a communication system that might actually survive a nuclear attack. So he had this idea of breaking messages up into blocks and sending them as fast as possible in every possible direction through the mesh network. So we built what eventually became a nationwide experimental packet network, and it worked. Is anybody in charge of the internet? The honest answer is, well, nobody. And maybe another answer is everybody. The real answer is that the internet is made up of an incredibly large number of independently operated networks. What's interesting about the system is that it's fully distributed. There's no central control that's deciding how packets are routed or where pieces of network are built or even who interconnects with whom. These are all business decisions that are made independently by the operators. They are all motivated to assure that there is end-to-end connectivity of every part of the network, because the utility of the net is that any device can communicate with any other device, just like you want to be able to make phone calls to any other telephone in the world. There's nothing like this that has ever been built before. The idea that what you know might be useful to somebody else or vice versa is a very powerful motivator for sharing information. By the way, that's how science gets done. People share information. So this is an opportunity for people to think up new applications, maybe program them as apps on a mobile phone, maybe become part of the continued growth of the infrastructure of the network to bring it to people who don't have access to it yet, or just make use of it on a day-to-day basis. You can't escape from contact with the internet, so why not get to know it and use it?
Nice. Did you like the video? Good. Gave you a lot of insight of how
Yes,
internet
ma'am.
has come into existence today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Then we come to, you want to have ask any questions on internet, or should I go to the non-verbal forms?
No, ma'am.
Anything to ask here? Sure. Okay, great. So let's go to the non-verbal forms of communication, the main methods used in non-verbal forms. We have already done the types of non-verbal communication. Do you remember which types we did? Anyone remembers? In the last chapter we did it.
Chronomex, Proximex.
Proximus, yes, ma'am.
Excellent.
Tactile.
Silence, ma'am. Silence as well.
Silence. So
The
now
object wala thingy.
correct. Okay. The main methods used is, what are they? Posters. Poster, you know, is a combination of what? Pictures and words. It can be used for communicating information inside the organization and also for outdoor advertisement. Poster can convey a lot of instructions. When we look at the poster, when you go out, say on a hoarding, you look at a poster, it gives you a lot of information about something, right? It may be a catch liner, could be there, a picture of a woman wearing a lot of jewelry, that means it's a jewelry ad. So it could be for educating people, for persuading people, for giving you some signals like dangers to smoking, right? Pictures, of course, a picture or a photograph is a good means of communication because it is very attractive. Graphs and charts, in almost every subject you learn about different types of graphs, different types of charts, especially in geography, right? You'll see a lot of data, or in maths, lot of, you know, the pie charts and data and graphs. What does those tell you? Any idea?
Ma'am, they tell us the information about a certain.
One by one. Ved, you tell me first, then I listen to first.
Ma'am, they give us a clear picture. They give us entire information about a thing and how much it is used.
Correct.
Or
correct.
how.
Yes, that's true. Kaustav, tell me what you were telling.
Ma'am, it gives us a clear picture about the topic. It makes us easy to understand.
Correct. Very, very good. Even signs and symbols. Why do we have on roads different traffic symbols or different signs? Don't they also indicate something to us?
Ma'am, they warn us about certain
Yes.
dangers.
Yes.
Yeah, they warn us about it. Yes,
They warn us about. So signs and symbols used in traffic management also convey messages. Bells, buzzers, tunes, all this we keep hearing on a day-to-day basis. These are all methods of which communication? Oral communication, right?
Yes.
Bells, especially during periods in between we hear. Buzzers we hear during quizzes. You also have drum beats during any march past or any kind of, you know, event taking place. Colors, even colors have a lot of significance. Now with COVID-19, colors are having too much of significance, isn't it? Green zone, red zone, orange zone. What are those colors signifying?
Ma'am, the danger.
The dangers.
So, ma'am, the number of COVID patients in every area.
In every area. Green
Kundri
is a more safer zone.
Like Kundri is green, whereas Kondwa is red.
Correct. So it is universally used in traffic signals. Colors have a lot of psychological effect. Even the way we dress up. Pleasant and cooling colors in workplace motivate employees. Colors can be used with feelings. Black stands for sorrow, white for peace, red for danger. Color is used for identification of teams, right? We have, like, now you are all in different colored houses for sports. Don't you have colors for your houses? Right? So definitely colors identify a lot of theme and it is a means of communication. Let's go to the last one. We have actually only 2 minutes left, but I think I can just finish it because only one more is left. One last method is left. That is social media or social advertising media. Social media is again a very important form of communication because a lot of social messages and socially relevant issues are shared today on the public platform. Okay, we can share information, ideas, opinions through newspaper, radio, TV, SMS. How many of you are on Facebook, Twitter, video blogging, conferencing? I'm sure most of you are all connected with these terminologies. These are not new to you, right? Social media is mainly mass media. It is used to share lots of views. What are the important social messages which we are sharing? Can you give me one socially relevant issue which is very effective today? We all know about it. See, I can give you one. Swachh Bharat. Cyberbullying, Swachh Bharat.
Ma'am, about COVID-19?
About COVID-19, that has also become a socially relevant issue. Beti Bachao Andolan. So many socially relevant issues are there. So politicians, film stars, authors, activists, they often tweet about these issues. They start making people aware of the importance of the social platform. So social platform is not only just surfing the net and enjoying and playing games on the video games, but it was also to express opinions and share information on socially relevant issues. So when you're writing about social media, this comes as a short note, children. Costa, please pay attention. Social media, when the short note comes,
Yes, ma'am.
you should be able to, you must write that it is expressing about socially relevant issues where people are sharing their information, ideas, and opinions. Then definitely give some examples, like which are the important forms of social media: newspaper, radio, TV. It's not restricted to internet. Please do not put in social media only internet. Okay, I hope it's clear. And of course, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. we are using today. So I'm stopping here. We will come just do a little recap of the chapter next day before I get into partnership.
Okay, ma'am.